Hey Geek, did you know Linux has a huge game library? Do you want to try it out? Apart from the standard games that we expect to be shipped with a modern operating system, a typical Linux distribution has a whole section titled Games and Amusement, with hundreds of packages. Among those, there are several known, well-established titles, like the famous Tux Racer or the epic Battle for Westnoth, a very impressive example of community game design with great music, astounding graphics, and immersive gameplay. But surely we're not interested in those. What we would like to do is explore other packages and see what Linux gamers have in store apart from several known titles. All packages in the repository have descriptions, so one can try to get an idea of what he is installing. Turn-based strategy game, very fast anagram generator, no, that's fun. Hey, what's this? Surreal platform shooting game. I don't think I ever played a surreal platform shooting game. Let's do this. Young Zygmunt has a few problems. Can you help him find the rogue brain cells in his mind and shut them down? Choose which mental zone, ego, psyche, ID. I guess this is a reference to Sigmund Freud. Okay, so here's our main hero. Resemblance to young Freud is perfect. The clothing, big belly, blonde hair, clean-shaven face. We find ourselves in a world with shelves, candelabra, sliding bridges, guns the size of a person, hovering tables. Yeah, tables are used as elevators in this game. Check this out, table bounces off of my head. I guess this is supposed to be the surreal part. The soundtrack is great and brings back the memories of first MIDI music experiments. So the first thing you notice is that there are lots of items to collect. They include cheap-looking pencil sharpener, bell, wine glass, star, audio cassette, tennis ball, shoe, candle, cup, spray, clock, jar, wrench, and light bulb. Why would you need all this junk? And especially, why collect it? Sometimes you would be pulled into these bonus rooms full of items. But I tell you, I've collected huge loads of these, had a score of more than 2 million, but it did not seem to give me anything but an honorable mention on the top score list. In normal games, you at least get an extra life for collecting a lot of score. Here is just for shits and giggles. My theory is this though, this guy desperately wants to open a dollar store. Remember what the description said, surreal platform shooting game. So yes, there are a lot of different weapons. You get the standard minigun, spray minigun, rocket launcher, then this rocket launcher that fires explosives. Aiming is horrible, you need to hold the fire button and launcher will go up and down. Then you have this wonderful spray gun and something that behaves like a nail gun. So much great ammunition, I guess we're up against some serious shit here. And here come the monsters. Flower pots with flowers? Some type of orange rodent? I love how items fly out of them. Oh, and there's this. I don't know what it is, but I call it game designer ran out of ideas. Very frustrating to aim at. Flower pots with flowers. Okay, so what are we doing here? Well, you need to locate these green things, which the game calls rogue brain cells. These are really doors to sublevels, which you have to complete by reaching the shut down button. In order to beat the game, you have to shut down all brain cells on all the 3 levels. And that's where I need to address the layout, which is, sad to say, unimaginative. Crates, 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 then some more crates, endless brick passages, everything is monotone and looks the same. I also love how shelves are stacked. More shelves, more shelves. Very quickly you have no idea where you are and how to get anywhere. Now imagine you have to walk around this maze and find brain cells. You have no minimap, you have no info on how much brain cells there are on the level and how many you've already shut down. Of course, there are games that work this way, Metroid for example. But in Metroid, level design is balanced. It's grand enough to make you feel confused, but has enough landmarks to make it possible to navigate. Asylum does no such thing. The beginning of the level looks absolutely the same as all other faraway areas. You sometimes have arrows that point to brain cells and are an attempt to help the player, but it just adds to more confusion. First off, it is not unusual to see arrows pointing at several directions on the same screen. What kind of instructions are these? What is this? Can I walk down? Or is it just a smart-ass way of being unhelpful? But the other problem is that when you do shut down the brain cell, arrows don't disappear, so in the end you still have to remember where you've been. Oh, and you're gonna love the controls in this game. The best way to sum it all up is horrendous jumping. It's totally unpredictable. You can never understand where you should stand to make it to the next platform, and level design seems to test your patience time and time again. Sometimes you're not even sure if you can reach a platform unless you've tried it a dozen times. Like, do you think it's possible to get up there? Seems like it can be done, but then voila, and magically you're there. So, typical Asylum gameplay is constantly running in circles. You try to jump over a pit, fall down, land several floors below, and then you have to make it all the way back to try again. You're gonna be doing this again and again and spend at least half of your efforts trying to reach things. Okay, I need level 2 here. What colors should I use? Yeah. Nope. Yeah. Yep, second level is gray bricks on gray background, and even more confusing and difficult to navigate than the first one, and also much more deadly. In order to complete the third level, you've got to complete at least one of the previous ones. Since second level is way harder, I decided to stick to the first one. But it seemed impossible. I kept running in circles and spent literally hours going around the level. And then I found out the dirty secret of Asylum. Every geek knows, when in doubt, dig up the README file. This one contains some valuable information. It turns out that candelabras are actually teleporters. You're supposed to stand on them and press down. Nothing in the game seems to indicate that, and yet teleporting is a huge part of the game. And why candelabras? Was there ever a more cryptic teleporter in the history of gaming? But wait a minute. Did I miss something? Were those tables really sending a message? Is this Morse code? Is candelabra really a symbol of traveling at the speed of light? Is this arrow pointing down because this is what I should do? And are there other teleporters that we casually walk by, not knowing what endless possibilities are available to us?